Harry's wife. I know it all. Yes, Harry's wife, she's a bit of an egghead, isn't she? Because she knows everything. For instance, you can't tell her how to dress. She is a fashion icon who knows precisely what looks best on her, whether it's presenting as overripe tomato lady at the Freedom Gala, Kermit goes to church, Inspector Gadget gets booed, Pooh Emoji Hat, Tent by Army Surplus, Teacup by Royal Dalton, One of Our Jowers is Missing, Fridge by Valentino, Seagull Shit Dress. She is high fashion and always looks brilliantly with everything fitting her immaculately. After all, any stylist that tells her to the contrary is simply an idiot. She, of course, knows full well how to make a successful podcrap. It involves mainly talking about herself, which of course the viewers will lap up, because she is the most interesting person in the world, and although there's a production staff of 20 or so, they know jack shit when it comes to actually producing this stuff. She knows what the public wants. When it comes to lobbying politicians, she knows the way to ensure that they do what she wants. She knows that the most appropriate thing to do is cold call them, causing them to wonder how the dickens did you get this number, and focusing on the security breach and the audacity of this individual rather than actually listening to what she has to say. But of course, Harry's wife knows best. She, of course, understands that a centuries-old institution needs to be changed because she says so, because, after all, she knows how everything is done. Whether it's being a bananatarian, a politician, a writer, bringing up children, or basically ensuring the world continues to turn on its axis, Harry's wife knows it all. And, of course, this is demonstrative of the mindset of the narcissist. Where you try and tell the narcissist how to do something, irrespective of your bona fides, your qualifications, your expertise, and your good intentions, you are threatening the narcissist's sense of control. Now, a more evolved narcissist is able to see that whilst this is a threat to control, it could be harnessed for improvements, and will then enable the narcissist to actually extend the pursuit of the prime aims in a particular way. So, for instance, more evolved narcissists would see an expert who understands advertising and would listen for the purposes of bolting on that expertise to extend their reach, thus controlling more people and drawing more fuel. But lesser narcissists and mid-range narcissists lacking the cognitive function or of moderate cognitive function, and of course with limited craft, invariably are led to believe that they know better than everybody else. They are the expert. For instance, take Donald Trump. When he was involved in a dispute involving wind farms, he said that he was the evidence because he was the expert. And he said that with a straight face. His narcissism caused him to believe it. He knew exactly what he was talking about, and you don't. He's the expert. You're an idiot. Similarly, with Harry's wife, she can't be told. No matter what level of expertise the person talking to her has, no matter what level of experience that completely outweighs her, that's irrelevant. Because in her world, the minute that you start telling her that she doesn't know what she's doing, or that you know better, and no matter how politely, kindly, or constructively you put this forward, her narcissism just does this. Threat to control. And therefore it must reject what you're doing. And that's why so many lesser and mid-range narcissists completely cock things up, because they are incapable of taking on advice and expertise and harnessing it on a regular basis. Occasionally they will do so, because the narcissism dictates that that is appropriate to the pursuit of the prime aims, but a lot of the time it is a simple case of cutting off their nose to spite their face. That they don't recognize that the information and expertise that they are being provided will actually enhance their position. All the narcissism focuses on is the fact that somebody's telling them what to do, and therefore that is a threat to control. And this was similarly the case, as we learn in an article by Alice Scarzi in the Express. Harry's wife made it clear that she did not need Sophie Wessex after Queen's offer of help. So there we have Sophie, who married into the royal family, an experienced practitioner, should we say, who is thought of very highly, or was thought of very highly, by the late Queen. She has earned her chops, shall we say. She's been through it, understands the way that the institution works, having come in as an outsider, and has fully embraced it, and therefore both understands both sides of the position. She knows what it's like to be an outsider, recently joining the firm, and she also understands the way that the firm works, having been a member of it for many years. She's ideally placed to explain matters to Harry's wife to help her. And of course, this is both indicative of the late monarch's attempts to assist Harry's wife, where's the racism in that, one wonders, and similarly, Sophie Wessex, clearly wanting to assist also. But of course, Harry's wife is having none of it. The article explains, Harry's wife reportedly refused the late Queen's offer to be taken under the wing of Sophie, Countess of Wessex, to be shown the ropes of royal life. Giles Brandreth claimed in his upcoming book, Elizabeth, An Intimate Portrait. The late 96-year-old was delighted when the Duchess of Sussex told her she had made the choice to leave behind her acting career to fully focus on supporting the Crown, the Commonwealth, and her husband. Of course, that's future faking. Harry's wife says it in the moment to compel control over those around her. And as to whether she'll deliver on that, who cares? The narcissism does it. If she does, so be it. If not, doesn't matter. Conditional asterisk applies. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, watch the video of that name, the narcissist conditional asterisk. Returning to the article, however, the broadcaster wrote in his book that the experienced monarch was also aware the Californian may find adjusting to royal life challenging to begin with, and suggested to Meghan she could be supported during her initial period in the firm by another member of the royal family who had joined as an outsider through marriage, Sophie, Countess of Wessex. However, the Duchess did not take up the offer, Mr. Brandreth claimed. An extract from the book, published by Mail on Sunday, read, to help Harry's wife, the Queen suggested that her daughter-in-law, Sophie Wessex, would be an ideal mentor. Sophie can help show you the ropes, said the Queen. Harry's wife made it clear that she did not feel she needed Sophie's help. She had Harry. The Queen, the broadcaster went on to claim, was a little concerned at that. Express.co.uk contacted representatives of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex at Archwell for comment. Sophie joined the royal family in 1999 upon marrying the Queen's younger son, so she'd had, some 17, 18, 19 years of experience by the time Harry's wife came along and married old Ginger Bollocks. The Countess retained her job in public relations for a few years, but after she was embroiled in the scandal that became known as the Sophie Tapes, she left her career and joined the group of full-time working members of the firm. Despite Sophie's rocky start within the royal family, the late Queen grew fonder of her, and, in her late years, commentators and sources often referred to the Countess as one of the late monarch's favourite relatives. In his book, to be released on December the 8th, Mr. Brandreth also claimed the Queen offered Harry's wife the chance to carry on with her acting career if she wished to do so. Oh, look, another accommodation for Harry's wife. Oh, I thought they were all racist and against her. He continued, she would have been totally understanding if Harry's wife had decided to continue her career, but the former Suits actress was ready for royal duty, and of course the Queen was delighted by that. She was particularly delighted by the enthusiasm Harry's wife showed for the Commonwealth, and by the commitment she made to do whatever you think we should be doing for the Commonwealth. Of course, that is Harry's wife behaving in the golden period to cause people to like her. Whether she had any intention of sticking with it is irrelevant. Ultimately, the narcissism will do as it pleases. In early 2019, the article tells us the late sovereign named Prince Harry and Harry's wife the President and Vice President of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, an organisation supporting projects by youth advocates throughout the 54-strong membership. Again, if there was so much racism going on, why were they given that role? They relinquished those roles in early 2021 when Harry and Harry's wife confirmed to the royal family they would not return to the royal fold as full-time working members. This is demonstrative of the way that a mid-range narcissist rejects help, no matter how useful it would be to her, and how well-intentioned it is. It also, of course, demonstrates the contradiction of her own narrative, whereby she claims, of course, that she wasn't assisted. The evidence demonstrates that she was, and is another instance of demonstrating her hypocrisy and contradictory behaviour, which we have seen time and time again. Let's have a brief look, though, below the line to see what people think about these observations. Empress Jen writes, Harry's wife was given a great deal of support from the royal family and royal staffs, and yet she can never be satisfied. She was given millions for her royal wedding, designer wardrobe, renovating her home, travelling around the world for holidays, and she worked 72 days total in 22 months as a working royal in return, and yet she had the audacity to claim on the Oprah Winfrey interview that she was unsupported by the royal family and left to fend for herself. I hope karma bites her on the bottom really hard. His da boss. Phew, Sophie dodged a bullet there. Imagine being linked to the scheming skunk. Ailsa refused help to learn our traditions, but invented a racist story for Oprah. Harry did say it was not true, but too late to put out the slander against his family. Ingalls, and Sophie Wessex certainly doesn't need Harry's wife. British. She didn't want to keep on acting as it seemed she wasn't very good at it, and she thought and still does think she's better than any of our royals, delusional, but couldn't hack the job anyway, making any excuse so as to not look bad. Just stay in your la-la land, Harry's wife, because that's all you are good at. Mobo77, Suits was about to finish. She wanted to get into a diplomatic role. The irony. 1310, Harry's wife was, and still is, a know-it-all, except she doesn't. Can't stand her. Illy B. Couldn't accept help from Sophie as she knew it all and wasn't going to be seen as needing help. Also, she had an agenda from the start, and her lying about her mental health to Oprah was planned when she did the interview with Hapless and wouldn't have been able to say if she'd accepted help from Sophie, but no, she knew what she was doing. Evil woman. Saying as that it is, that compulsive liar snared the ginger man child, with no intentions of staying in the UK, and off the vipers slithered, spitting more lies and insults as they went. Baseball. Evil witch. Want proof? Look how she treats her father. Well, pretty clear the views about her there, demonstrating, of course, that they see her as a know-it-all, and invariably the narcissist is, because the narcissism creates that deluded idea that the narcissist is expert at everything, but invariably it's a case of all the gear and no idea, as we've seen repeatedly as Harry's wife keeps cocking things up. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.